about why you aren't doing things that you know you need to do. Because this has come up in a ton of my calls this week with the clients that I support. And it just really keeps coming up with why are we not doing the things that we know that we need to do? So that's what we're going to review today. If that resonates with you, we're in the chat box. Yes, that resonates. But we're going to go over exactly the science behind why that's actually happening and where it actually stemmed from. And we're going to go through the things that you can do to now get out of that loop and do the things you do say that you want to do. And a lot of this stemmed from some of my own experience. And I was actually just in a live masterclass and workshop that I went to. And one of the quotes they said is that knowledge isn't power. Knowledge isn't power. Execution is. I'm going to say it again. Knowledge is not power. Execution is. Let's think about that, right? Because again, a lot of us, we have a lot of information. We know what we are supposed to be doing, we think, but we're still just not doing it. We're not showing up. We're not making it happen. And I had to ask myself that the other day because there's certain things that I also know that I should be doing, and I just keep not doing them. I keep procrastinating them. And I was curious as to when that first started. Like, when did it start that I was procrastinating the things that I know I need to do? I'm just going to give you a quick example. For myself, I go to the gym on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to do strength training. And what I found myself doing is that on those days, I'd always been late to that workout. I'd scheduled it, but I'm always like 10 minutes late for that workout. And I asked myself, why? Why have I been late to that workout? I'm on time for everything else in my life, for all the things that I schedule, for the meetings that I have, for the obligations I have. But for some reason, showing up to my workout, I was finding that I was always 10 minutes late. So I started to ask myself, why? Why does that keep happening? Where did it come from? And how can I get back in the groove, making that feel like second nature again? And a lot of it comes with not keeping certain promises that you make to yourself. But I saw a lot of science around this, and I wanted to go over it with you all in here today because I thought it was really powerful. So I'm going to walk through some of the science behind it and also walk through some of the reasons why this does happen and some of the reasons why we get inconsistent with the routines or the things that, again, we know that we should be doing. And a reminder, a lot of us have knowledge. We're all pretty smart people on here, right? We have some idea of what we're supposed to be doing, but we're not executing it. So how do we execute and how do we get out of that loop? And also, how do we give ourselves grace for getting out of that, getting in the cycle of not doing the thing that we said we're going to do? So first, I want to talk about consistency. Then we're going to go into some of the loop and exactly how we can actually navigate ourselves out of it. Okay. And before we hop into that, some of you might have seen on my page, this summer, I'm taking on just 3 more high performance habits clients. I'll talk about exactly what that means. And we go through wellness, nutrition, everything to really fit and integrate into your schedule and your life. If that's something that you are interested in later on, send me a message on IG, say ready, and we can just chat and see if that's something that's a good fit. But I'm going to walk through some of this stuff on here because this is what keeps coming up in the calls for the clients I am supporting for high performance habits, for wellness, and things along those lines. So number 1, why is the consistency off? Again, why are we not keeping some of the promises to ourselves? Number 1, a lot of times it comes to clarity. It comes to clarity. Are you truly clear on what it is that you're shooting for and that you want to achieve? Are you actually clear on that? Are you like semi-clear? And I want you to think beyond just a goal of, let's say like your goal is, I want to lose 10 pounds. That's one of the goals that you've had. Okay. Let's just say, I want you to think beyond that goal. Beyond that goal. And what that means is, let's go deeper into the reasoning as to why. Getting really clear on the why to that goal. Aesthetics, obviously, it's okay to have an aesthetic goal. But what's the deeper thing that's going to bring into your life? Is it going to bring when you feel like when you lose that 5 pounds and you're feeling more confident in your body? Is it going to bring you showing up better at work, for your family, for your kids? Is it actually not fully about losing a weight and more about like, I actually want to get really strong in my body because I want to be able to carry groceries. I want to be able to play with my kids. I want to be able to age gracefully and be able to do all this stuff as I get older, which I'm loving how the trends right now for a lot of wellness is turning into that. It's turning into longevity. And I'm obsessed with that because when you focus on that, the looks and all that stuff, it all comes. But I want you to get really clear and have clarity on what it is that goal that you have and what's the why behind it. For some of you who do business on here, I also do help support with business coaching, by the way. I've been in business now since 2017, since way beyond some of these other people who have said they're business coaches. And if it's a certain goal for your business or a sales goal you have for work or whatever it might be, go back to the deeper whys with that. Get really clear on that. It's going to help you achieve it faster, and it's going to make it more fun to achieve it. It's going to help make it easier to be showed up. So again, really getting clear on your goal is going to really help to keep you consistent. And that's going to be really, really powerful. Okay. Number 2 with consistency, a lot of times that I see is that, especially when it's the waves of like, I'm really consistent with it, but then I'm not. A lot of times, especially when obviously I see this in fitness, but I also see this in other areas, again, in business and all other areas of life as well. You are at a point where, let's say we're at 0, we're not really doing much with whatever that goal is. And then you're trying to shoot all the way up to 100. Let's think about it with fitness. Let's say for workouts, you're like doing no workouts right now. And then when you go start this like challenge that you signed up, whatever it might be for, you're not trying to work out like 7 days a week. 0 to 100. And you're able to do that for like a couple weeks. But then after that, you literally just can't sustain it. Like you just can't. It doesn't fit into your life, right? Let's say it's with food. You go from eating whatever to now trying to eat the perfect laid out cooked meals, blah, 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 for 12 weeks and everything's all prepped out, whatever. Again, going from 0 to 100. And while it's going to work for a little while, a lot of times it doesn't actually stick to stay consistent because you need to figure out something that's going to fit and integrate into your actual life that actually works for you, not for somebody else, not for everyone you're seeing around you, for you. For you. So what actually works for you? So instead of going from 0 to 100, the goal should be going from 0 to like 5%. So again, for workouts, maybe it's like you're doing 0 workouts right now. Okay, cool. The goal next week maybe is to do like 2. Not even crazy long workouts, just something, just 2. And get in the groove of that. Get that going, give yourself that win. And then if you want to add on more, awesome. But then it's going to actually integrate into your life instead of it being the other way around. With food, same thing. If you're not really eating super healthy, just start with breakfast. Just optimize your breakfast. Start with that. Okay? So that's a really important piece with consistency. Third piece of consistency I see. It's hard sometimes to stay consistent when you are busy and you're working all day. I talk to a lot of the clients I have are either like attorneys, I have physicians, I have busy women who are commuting back and forth, working in manufacturing, whatever it might be. And your brain is going all day. You're making tons of decisions for work and all sorts of other pieces. And maybe you're also a parent. And then by the time you get to go do the thing that you're trying to do, you have a bit of decision fatigue because you don't actually know what the hell to do. You don't really actually know what to do. Like you kind of do, but not really. And that's going to make it hard to be consistent as well, right? Because you don't actually know if what you're doing is actually helping you get towards your goals or not, right? So that decision fatigue of not really actually knowing what I should be doing. You want to make wellness or whatever goal that you might have of like second nature. And you want to make it so you don't need to do this like the hard way. You don't need to it doesn't need to always feel hard, right? It could feel like second nature with your workouts. It can feel like second nature with your business. If you don't no longer need to make those decisions for yourself and you know exactly what it is that you're showing up and you're there to do. So that's what I see a lot when it comes to consistency. And why I wanted to start with this before we get into the reasons why you're not keeping the promises that you make to yourself is for a few different reasons. A lot of this comes down to habits, And I'm doing a lot of studying on habits right now because I've been seeing how personally, like, especially being a business owner where I have a schedule, where I'm making my own schedule, you can think like, oh, that's going to be so much easier. But sometimes it's not because you need to create a certain routine, a certain habits and discipline to keep up with all the things that you are wanting to achieve. Otherwise it starts to disappear. I'll tell you exactly why in a second. So I've been reading a lot on these high performance habits. That's what I teach a lot to my clients, right? And I love what it said in there. It was basically saying that, like, when you think about high performance habits, it's about being able to perform at a higher level, like a high level for your work, for your life, and all those things without losing yourself. Without losing yourself. Meaning you're taking care of yourself first. I mean, you're doing these habits to obviously perform better, but you're doing these habits so you can have a higher quality life. And I think that sometimes we forget about that. We forget that, like, we're here now. We need to live now. We need to focus on ourselves. And that's really, truly what the high performance habits are. So we have a higher quality life and you perform better. So win-win. We love that. But here's exactly what happens. And we're going to go through it right now. When it comes to breaking the promises you make to yourself and creating habits. I'm hoping, I don't know if this is going to be backwards or not. I've never actually done this over you. It probably will be backwards. Let me see. We'll figure out when we're writing it. I'm going to write this on the board here because I actually thought it would be better to do it like this. So when we have different habits that our mind comes up with, right? Let's just say, for example, the habit of brushing your teeth. I want to assume that most of you on here wake up and brush your teeth. That's just like a habit, right? You wake up and it's like second nature. You're just going to like get up and brush your teeth. So we wake up, we brush our teeth. That's a cue. Cue is waking up. The routine is I'm going to go brush my teeth. The reward from is that, oh, my teeth, they feel great. I'm feeling fresh. I don't have disgusting breath. Like, we've got that down as a habit. That's a good habit, right? A good habit. That's something that's going to support us. But what happens is sometimes we can get into having a bad habit, a habit that's not actually supporting us, but the reward feels like it's fine. So let's say, for example, your cue is waking up and your routine is that, I decided I'm going to skip brushing my teeth today because it just takes too much time. I don't want to do it. Or we can even say flossing, right? Because the dentists are always like, you guys need to let's floss more, right? Let's say we skip that. Okay. Then the reward for that is like, oh, I got more time. I got to go and do my next thing. So you actually can get in a habit loop where it feels like that's a good thing, but it's not. So how do we break a habit when we keep doing it? And what happens is, as we keep doing it that way, our brain actually creates a neural pathway that says that that's a good thing. Our brain's actually creating a pathway. So sometimes you're wondering, like, again, I'm just using brushing your teeth for an example, why maybe you're not doing certain things that you say you're going to do. It's because if you've created that habit of not doing it over and over again, our brain is getting used to that, and it's going to keep doing that because it feels comfortable there. That's what it knows. How do we break that? How do we change that? How do we break that habit so that we can have a better habit? And just also know, like, this is going to take time, but I'm going to give you some examples we're going to walk through. Also, my dog is wild right now because it was raining and I was supposed to take her out and I didn't get a chance to take her out. So let's walk through what some of this might look like. So cue. Can you see it? And it's backwards. We love that. Okay, well, we love that it's backwards. Here we go. I don't know if I can switch it. So this is going to be like the beginning part of this. So your cue. So I want you to think about maybe something that you've been noticing has been a bad habit for you. For me personally, I've been noticing that I've been 10 minutes late for my workout always. The hell? What's with that? My cue is the alarm going off on my Google Calendar because I have all my workouts logged in on my Google Calendar. So I've always been like 10 minutes late, even though it's like logged. Okay. So the routine, so the cue is the Google Calendar. And also, if you want to think about this easier, maybe you could also think about like if you're like your wake up time. So maybe your cue is your alarm clock. Your alarm clock is going off. Okay. That's a cue. That's something that just happened, right? Now we're going to go to the next piece, which is your routine. So your routine for me is always that I stall a little bit when I see the Google Calendar go off and I kind of start doing a bunch of other random things that isn't me getting to the car to go to the gym when I need to. For your alarm, it might be you snooze your alarm. So you just snooze it. And then for me, like I said, it's kind of like I'm just kind of do other things that isn't me getting in the car. Okay. And then the reward, again, even though this isn't the things that we want to be doing, for snoozing the alarm is that, oh, I got extra time. I got extra time to sleep. Yay. Maybe you're feeling like, yay, I have extra time to sleep. And then what happens is your brain is getting used to this, right? It's creating the neural pathways being like, okay, this is when we, and then it loops back. And it repeats. It just keeps repeating over and over and over and over again until all of a sudden you continue to not keep the promises to yourself. You continue not to execute, even though you know knowledge-wise that you're actually maybe going to have an even better day if you do wake up earlier so that you can get certain things done so that the rest of your day really comes together. You know that, but you're still not getting up. You're still snoozing it because you've created that pathway and created that habit that I'm better off. I'm better off snoozing it. So again, the question now is, how do we break that? So first, obviously, is the awareness of it. For me, the awareness came with the gym piece. I'm like, by telling myself that I'm going to continue to be 10 minutes late for the gym, that means I'm being 10 minutes late for myself. I'm not 10 minutes late for anyone else or any other responsibility. So what is that saying about me and how I feel about my worth and the need taking care of myself, right? What's that saying? Again, not on purpose, but just kind of like getting into like everything else is more important. Okay. So how do we break this? So the biggest thing that you can do in order to break this is to change up this first piece. You can kind of change up this cue and even like right here. We can change this, change something here. And it's going to make something that's out of the ordinary before the routine even happens. So how can we break that? So let's say, for example, with snoozing your alarm, okay? Instead of having the alarm right next to your bed where you can easily just touch it and snooze it, instead, maybe you change the cue in the next piece here to the phone is now in the hallway. So the phone is not going to be in the hallway. So now you have to you're disrupting the habit that keeps happening. Now the phone's in the hallway. Now you need to actually, instead of just hitting it, I need to go back to bed. You need to get up, walk in the hallway, get your phone. Disruption. Changes it. Starts with that. Now what you can even do, and I heard somebody else do this, which was really powerful. Maybe you have the phone set up outside there. Hopefully my dog's not eating anything she's not supposed to. You have it set up outside into the hallway. And then maybe you put a glass of water right next to that because you say, cool, I'm going to go get up. I'm going to grab that water. I'm going to drink it. And now we start ourselves actually getting up and now disrupting that bad habit that we've had. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to just like kick it in one thing, right? But I want you to maybe think about some of the things and some of the promises that you are making to yourself and think about how we can disrupt that. Because if you're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to keep being like, oh, like I know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not doing it. I know what I'm supposed to do. Okay, well, now it's time to do something and make a little change. It doesn't need to be massive. And also, like I said before, don't try and go like overhaul your entire life with this. Let me just start with like one thing. For me, I started with the gym today. I said to myself, I'm going to be there on time. So I disrupted it by a few different ways. I messaged somebody that I knew typically goes to the same class as me and asked him when he's going to be there. I set my alarm a little bit earlier. I broke up my work stuff because typically you get like absorbed in my work. I broke it up with like walking my dog outside before I hopped in the car. And I was able to get on there on time. And I made the promise and I kept the promise that I made to myself and I executed. Because again, the knowledge is that I know that going to the gym is going to be good for me that day. But knowledge is not power. Execution is power. You need to be able to execute that. So let's think about how we can disrupt some of the habits that we have and the patterns that we have so we can show up for ourselves. But again, not trying to go from 0 to 100 because we want this to stick. We want this to stick. Now, I not only talk about this kind of stuff in my keynotes. So if you have a company or if you're an event planner and you're looking for a keynote speaker to come in, I talk about uncertainty, overcoming change, resilience. A lot of that we go over is making sure that you have a strong foundation and strong habits in your life. Because when uncertainty strikes, when things go wrong, you're going to be much more well-equipped to handle that if you have if you have some base foundation, you have some like high performance habits that you're doing. And that you do have habits for yourself, right? We can tend to get like all over the place if we do not have that. If, like I said, this is resonating with you and you're like, yes, I keep not making the promise to myself. Yes, I'm not consistent because I not very clear. I don't have clarity on my goals. If you're saying I'm not really consistent because of the decision fatigue that I am making, right? If you're saying you're not consistent because you continue to go from 0 to 100, when are you going to break that? The time is now. It's not tomorrow. It's not the next day. It doesn't have to be a major thing. So the time to break this is now. And you can absolutely do it. But it's about rewiring your brain. Your brain has gotten really used to these things. And now it's time to rewire it. It's time to question it a bit. It's time to dive in there and actually do something that's going to stick. And for workouts, it's not, again, if you're doing like a 12-week challenge, right? A challenge, and you go all in on it, and it's completely, you're going from 0 to 100, typically you can't stick to it after. So what are you going to do this time is different to change your habits to get something that sticks. Okay? So I hope this was really helpful for you. I'm working on habit stuff myself right now. So I wanted to bring this up, and I'm also working on with a lot of my clients. I think it's a powerful thing, powerful mindset shift, and it's a game changer. So again, if you think about high performance habits, it's all about being able to execute all the things that you want to do in a powerful way without losing yourself in your life, right? They're habits that are going to really support you. They're going to support your teams. They're going to support your job. They're going to support your family, all those different pieces. And that's what's really powerful. And a lot of it comes down to, this is what happens with your habits. So how can we get this to stick, right? So like I said, hope this was helpful for you. I have 3 more spots for one-on-one clients this summer. I think some of you already know this, but typically I don't take a lot of one-on-one clients. So I have 3 left with me personally this summer. We not only go over your specific habits, we're going to give you a workout routine. We're going to progress it so it actually sticks after a 12-week period. We're going to work on your nutrition. We're going to work on your stress management and all those different pieces. And we're going to really bring it all together. And you work directly one-on-one with me. If that's something that you're interested in, send me a message, say the word ready. We'll chat personally. It's literally me. I don't know why people don't think it's me. It's literally me. I will message you. We'll chat more about where you're at right now and see if it's a good fit. And if it is, we'll hop on a call and we'll literally chat one-on-one together. And we'll go over all the details. We'll go over exactly where you're at. And again, give you some things in order to help you really push past this and not this be another thing where you're just doing something for like 12 weeks or just for like a small amount of time. So if that's for you, feel free to send me a message. And also, I guess I've had more event planners on here than I thought. I'm also doing a lot of speaking this year. So if you're looking for someone to come in to speak on overcoming uncertainty, resilience, and this habit stuff is a foundation of that. We're going to talk about all of that. I'd love to learn more about what y'all are doing there. But hope this was helpful. Send me a message. I love chatting with you all, but I thought this was really helpful. I'm a very visual person. And when I see the science behind things, because I was a biochemist, when I see the science behind stuff, it clicks. If someone's just telling me to do something and I'm like, oh, what's this like? If I'm like, I don't see like how it actually works, I typically won't do it. But when I see it like this, it really helps me. So hopefully this has helped you as well. But hope to see you all soon. Like I said, if you guys want to come, if anyone wants to do coaching, send me the word ready. Just send me that message and we can chat one-on-one, and hope this resonated, and I'll see you all later.